let's just go on to people at home, because the economy, you said last night you have to follow through on tax rises and spending cuts later this week because your government, and this is to quote you, has to meet the expectations of international markets and put public finances onto a sustainable footing. Have you had to make harder choices because of Liz Truss?
I think actually being here reminds everyone that the challenges that we face at home are global in nature. The global economy is recovering from COVID and dealing with the aftershocks.
There was a UK-specific
but
reason about
also
problems
Russia's
in the UK,
war in
though.
Ukraine is a primary driver for energy prices and inflation, and that's why the IMF has made the point that actually almost a third of the world's economy either is or will be in recession. So we're not alone in facing these challenges. I know other leaders here will be talking about how do we make sure that global economy is resilient to high inflation and rising interest rates. And what the Chancellor has rightly set out is that we will need to take some difficult decisions, but that's in order to limit the increase in mortgage rates, to get inflation down. Those are the right things to do, but we will have fairness and compassion at the heart of all of those decisions.
But Prime Minister, my question was, you do acknowledge that your predecessor made this harder because of the choices they made in the mini budget?
Well,
Yes or no?
actually, on the steps of Downing Street, I said that mistakes had been made, and part of the reason that I became Prime Minister was to address them. And what we've seen now is that stability has returned to the United Kingdom, but that's because the expectation is that the government will make those difficult but necessary decisions to ensure that we can get a grip of inflation, reduce it for people with the cost of living, also limit the increase in mortgage rates. But I really want people to be reassured that what the Chancellor is working on is that all the decisions we make will have fairness and compassion at their heart, and I'm confident on Thursday people can see that that's what we've strived to do.
Fairness and compassion, a hint that you'll keep the triple lock. I'm not going to bother asking you because I know you won't answer that question, but what I will ask you is this. You're saying that you have to make hard economic choices to have sustainability of public finances, but the fallout for all of us is that they're going to be hard choices for our own finances, aren't there? For everyone around the country, it's going to be tough.
The Chancellor has set that out very recently indeed, and I think the right thing though is to be honest with the country, and we shouldn't pretend that there aren't some difficult choices ahead, because that's what's required to ensure that in the long term we can do the things that will benefit people's finances. Because if inflation gets out of control, that's not going to help anyone. If interest rates keep spiraling, that's not going to help anyone. But I'm confident that what the government will deliver on Thursday will be fair, it will be compassionate, it will deal with the challenges we face and put us on a path to recovery for the future.